Hello, dear spiritual family, and welcome to this special time together. As you know, our Sunday services have been curtailed for a period of time because of the experience the whole world's going through right now, and we've been asked to lock ourselves in place. So I'm talking to you right now from my home office. And we will continue to do this. In fact, I'm looking forward to doing this to the point that we had planned to put a lesson out every Sunday, but since I don't have a whole lot else to do, we will probably putting some of these out 2 or 3 times a week. So get ready for it, as I am. And again, I bless all of you. I know that we are moving through an interesting time. I always tell my practitioners in our practitioner training that when you go to the hospital and visit someone who's in the hospital and you see that the room is full of their loved ones, at that moment, take some time for treatment and know the truth of the whole situation has nothing to do with the concern, that the truth of the person you're going to see has nothing to do with concern around them. Let's know that's true of us right now. In this time period we're moving through, that the truth of all of us has nothing to do with concern. I have to know that for myself, and I want you to know it for you. So we find ourselves doing what? If we're going to remove the concern, then we need to understand, as Emerson, and this jacket I'm wearing is from the Emerson Institute, which we are affiliated with. God love them. But Ralph Waldo Emerson pointed out that we are what we think about all day long. Dr. Ernest Holmes took that idea, as Charles and Myrtle Fillmore of Unity did. Dr. Holmes pointed out that we are what we think about all day long, agreeing with Emerson. He took it to the point where he said, okay, if that's true, then thoughts are things. We can take it to the next level and realize that you and I, we are the thinker. Let's put it in first person. I am the thinker that thinks the thought that becomes the thing. I'm not the thing, I'm not the thought, I'm what? I'm the thinker. Now, don't you know you're God? The first 2 steps of treatment, and right now we have postponed the class until we move through this virus experience of Emma Curtis Hopkins in the 21st century. And I love the material we're working with because the first 4 chapters are actually the first 6 chapters in the material deal with what religious science teaches as the first 2 steps of treatment. There's one life, it's God. That life is my life. Now, if that's true, that being the religion of our science, if it's in place and we're operating as a religious scientist, thinking from principle and not about principle, Thomas Short, if he was talking to you right now, would tell you is the creative process. And what is the creative process? It's very simple. If it's done unto you as you believe, as Jesus pointed out, then you need to understand that if that is true, and I believe it is, every metaphysician who understands metaphysics from a metaphysical viewpoint understands that it is. What you're understanding is that you go where your mind takes you. All experience results from states of consciousness. So, the question this morning, or afternoon or evening, whenever you're watching this, is what are you giving your mental and spiritual attention to? Where's it going? To what are you giving your mental attention? Visual attention is not as important as mental attention or spiritual attention. Are your key ideas what you're thinking about most of the time? Are your key ideas creative in a positive way? Are your creative ideas worthy your attention? I remember Dr. Raymond Charles Barker used to point out that your newest thought may not be your best one, but it is your newest one, and you should pay attention to it. And if it's worth your time, keep it, and if it's not, get rid of it. So your key ideas being worthy of your attention should be a paid you should pay attention to them. And if not, I mean, if they're not beneficial or going to produce the beautiful for you, then by all means change to what? Change to expanding ideas, not limiting ideas. Expanding ideas of what? Expanding ideas of good. Now, where are they? They are as near as your next thought. You see, your expectations, we don't always get what we want, but we do get what we expect. And your expectations are clues to the creative process. You have to expect more good. You have to expect more good. You have to think more good if you want to have more good. It's that simple. It cannot happen until you create it with your consciousness. You see, most people have, unfortunately, a low level of expectancy. Don't be one of them. You should pay attention to them. And if not, I mean, if they're not beneficial or going to produce the beautiful for you, then by all means change to what? Change to expanding ideas, not limiting ideas. Again, guard your consciousness. And we could add to that with all diligence. Why? Because out of it comes the facts of your experience. You see, all the good that infinite mind has can be yours. I've been teaching this for 45 years. I've been involved in this teaching since 1964. I was a student of Dr. William Hornaday, Dr. Reginald Armour, Dr. Fenwick Holmes, colleague to Raymond Charles Barker, Robert Bitzer, Frank Richelieu, Tom Johnson, Tom Costa. The past 45 years have clarified to me something that I used to hear but now understand what they were talking about when they used to say, quoting Dr. Ernest Holmes, the more I know, there's more to know. So great good is yours, my dear friends, my dear spiritual family. Know that I have you all in treatment, our practitioners and ministers. We're available to you. I celebrate Katrina and Reverend Sue and Reverend Lacey. To Finn and to Nancy and Jeff, To Reverend Rick and Reverend Sharon, Reverend Carolyn Cash, I love you all, and I know that through this period of lockdown, we're not locked up in thinking. So great good is yours. You have a right to claim it. You have a right to experience it. So my challenge to you is to think about what you think about. Think often about God and the good it wants you to have and is yours by right of consciousness. I give my attention to the good I want. Let that be your way. Again, thank you for sharing this time with me. Let's go together and close with a wonderful treatment. It is wonderful because we're part of it, wonder-filled, full of wonder, full of light, full of awareness of our oneness with infinite mind. We affirm together this awareness and know we have spiritual authority right here, right now. The authority of the infinite mind is the authority of your consciousness, of my consciousness. Affirm with me in your heart in first person. I am all power to my individual experience. I use the creative power of thought for my own right purpose, right here, right. To my individual experience, I use the creative power of thought for my own right purpose, right here, right now. I move through this time and this period and this challenge that the world is facing, hearing the words of Dr. Ernest Holmes, when you know what and who you are, you can move through anything and be unmoved by it. I become one with this awareness and affirm and know that I accept direction from the inner life within me and the inner intelligence and love. All the power of the infinite is mine to use right here, right now, with wisdom. I bless my family, my friends, and everyone I know. I know that even though we're all alone at home, that we're all together in the awareness of our oneness with God. Affirm with me now in first person. My consciousness now authorizes what I want in life. I remove all authority from that which I do not want. This removes undesirable elements from my experience. I decree only good, only the true, only the beautiful. Every area of my life is now enriched and expanded by these ideas I'm accepting right now. I speak my word for this moment. for our spiritual family at Tri-City Religious Science Center, for all of the New Thought movement, all of our brothers and sisters in Unity, CSL, Divine Science. Right now, I accept the promise of the abundant life, and I think in its terms. I am free to live fully. And I do it now. I unlock the door of any confusion, doubt, fear, any outer verdict, and know the truth of my being unfolds now in ways I've never known before, beautiful, wonderful ways. There is no power opposed to my right thinking right here, right now. I am all authority. This is good enough to be true, and I give thanks for it. And I know it's good enough to be true for all of you, and I give thanks for each of you watching this